The first essay is about conforming with technology. This student talks about how her mother was getting used to using different types of digital devices with her work and how they enhanced her digital literacy. The quality and clarity of the whole essay was very clear because I understood what the student was trying to talk about and the different types of techniques that the mother had in order to use and develop digital literacy. The organization was also very well put. She would give us descriptions of how her mother came from somewhere that she didn't need technology, and then when she moved to the United States, she got a job where she needed to know more about technology because that's what her job was to mainly use the computer or other digital devices to help with um, her clients. Um, for control and of language style and sentence variety, I think that she had a lot of different sentences, complex sentences, simple sentences, compound sentences, and for organization, development, and support, I think she did very well in the first page of her essay, where here she starts saying it could be using an online library for a research paper, looking up directions, consulting a calendar, taking pictures, or checking email on your iPhone 5, Samsung, or Nokia smartphone. There she had great parallel structuring because she used the ending ing every time after she had the comma. So she had looking, consulting, taking, and checking. That was a very well written sentence. And with research, she did it very well because even in the first paragraph, two she had two references, which shows that she really looked into finding out how people adapt to technologies. Grammar usage was also very well. Going back to research, here she had only cited two different references, but throughout the whole essay, she referenced to them multiple times, which showed that she really paid attention to the different articles and really put them into her essay to give her more support. I'm saying that the response to the assignment and the writing task was very well because she really connected digital literacy, which is for our English 103 class, and writing a paper showing how her mother adapted to technologies and how she got used to using digital devices. In the second essay, Multitasking in the Digital Age, the writer again began to use references in the first paragraph. As we talked in class, Professor Justin pointed out this. Which shows that the student really knew how to use articles that they researched. They knew how to strategically place in the citations into the essay, and leaving out some other information that wasn't necessarily important to what the student was trying to prove with the citation. Organization, development, and support. It was well written and organized, some paragraphs I thought were kind of more choppy, but the essay in total, it was well written. The response also was well. In parts of this essay, I was somewhat confused because Professor Justice had told us previously that he didn't want specifically citations to start off a paragraph because you have no background or no introduction to why you're bringing in that citation. So here we see in his July-August 2008 article, the writer just starts talking about a specific citation, and then begins to describe everything that goes with the citation. There I was confused because I didn't think it was as effective as if you would bring some background information and then bring the citation. In this essay's works cited page, the writer really had a lot of different references, which showed throughout the whole essay. They really knew how to reference to the citation, to the references, and cite them in a well manner as well. They brought back a lot of support for the writer, and they were very effective as to different examples that the writer wanted to show throughout their essay. Now beginning with the second portfolios, this is the first essay, and while reading this, I thought it was very interesting. I think the second portfolio was the most interesting two essays. And here, the writer is talking about the effects of digital technology on the people who use it. The quality and clarity of the thought of the writer was very clear to me because it had different examples of how different types of people use their devices or applications. This writer also began with having references in the first page, first paragraph, which again kind of confused me. But going down or further into the essay, they have more references and more support to the essay, which they are talking about digital literacy. I really liked how the writer began to talk about Kel. And here they're talking about Kel's background, his parents, and how his father was the one who influenced his digital literacy and wanting to get that passion for drawing on the computer and wanting to generate different video games. I thought it was very interesting when the writer began to cite, I'm guessing himself. Here, he talks about something that he said, and he cites it, which was very interesting to me. I did not know that we could cite what we have previously said. I think this was a very easy essay to read because it flowed very well, giving us examples of how his digital literacy became and how later on it became part of him, part of his own hobbies. Now off to the second proposal, second essay. This was also a very interesting essay. As we talked about it in class, the title itself is very intriguing because generally society thinks that video games aren't necessarily teaching the video game players or users well principles of learning. They think that video games rot the brain of a child, and here the writer is trying to present that video games are indeed made for kids to learn different kinds of techniques about life experiences, and how to develop learning techniques from the video games. Here in page 3, I really like the organization, development, and support. First, beginning with the first sentence saying that good video games utilize many different learning principles that can be taken and directly applied to education. For example, G explains that upon etc. etc. There he begins to explain why some people do think that good video games, in fact, do affect positively the children that play them. He gave great background as to why he thought that, and he gave great references and support that um, helped him. And I really liked how he began the paragraph as well, because um, it gave him the option to whether to defend one side but still show two different types of sides that could be used, so other people may read it and be like, no, I think that's wrong because of this and this. But he had his examples there, so he showed the side that he was taking on. The research that he did was very well. In almost every paragraph, he has at least 2 to 3 different sources that he used to reference and give him support. Grammatically, I think it's okay. Control of language style and sentence variety. The writer did have a lot of different types of sentences. And going to his works cited, he had a lot of references to this specific essay, and I think that the writer had a lot more to say about this essay because the writer was more motivated and therefore had more references to put into his essay to give him more support. With all the essays that I read in both portfolios, the main thing that I want to keep doing or continue doing or want to do, is have a lot of references so I have more support for my essays. Not just have any kinds of references and keep referencing the same person or article, but have different types that also have different viewpoints that I can put, not just be biased and say what I think, but also put in the other sides of my essays. And also how I mentioned how this writer began with the first sentence, whether someone learning how to make the first sentence of a new paragraph argumentable, so that there can be two different sides to what I'm trying to explain.